Ahoy hoy there, team class. Welcome to another episode of Miss Grund's River Talks. I don't know, I'm just calling it that. All right, look at this first of all. Out for my morning walk and it is gorgeous. Can you hear the birdies? They're so awesome. Anyway, so here we have, I want us to draw a parallel between, we've been learning about the Old Testament. We're talking about how they used to sacrifice animals to try to appease the gods, which means make them happy because they think that things are going wrong in their life because God is mad at them. And they also use animal sacrifice for things like cutting a deal. We learned that this is the world that Abraham lives in. And what I want to touch base on right now is how Jesus flips all of this way of thinking right on its face. That was my impression of it. And what we see happening is Jesus comes to change our minds about who God is. Not God's mind about us, which is often taught. And why is it that Jesus dies on a cross? Well, Jesus dies on a cross because he lives in such a radical way of love and inclusion that they kill him. That's why. And what we see on the cross is the complete opposite of what humanity thought of God. Meaning you have all of these years of people trying to get to God by sacrificing these animals and doing this and that and the other thing. And what we discover in Jesus is that instead of entering this game of you did this, no, I'm going to do that, and you have to do this to earn that, God completely refuses to play that game because Jesus is God. So that's God on the cross. And Jesus really says, like, I would never enter this game of you, because the apostles, the disciples, they want to go after the Romans and kill them after they take Jesus. And Jesus says, no, those who live by the sword died by the sword. And so Jesus, who is God, absolutely refuses to play this game that humanity continually plays of a tit for tat thinking. If you slap me, then I slap you back. That kind of thinking. Jesus, instead of entering that way of being, dies on a cross. And instead of saying, I'm going to get you guys for this, from the cross, Jesus says, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So when I look to the cross, I don't see some kind of God needing some sort of death to make up for other. No, what I see on the cross is Jesus showing us the love of God, of that fulfillment of the covenant of, see? Think about it. Think about that covenant of the smoking fire pot and the flame that go through the animals. God saying, I will continue to keep loving you no matter what. And on the cross, we see God does that. God keeps loving us no matter what. And also on the cross, Jesus shows us the way to life by showing us how to enter our own suffering. Jesus doesn't enter his suffering. God doesn't enter this suffering with hatred and anger, which as humans, you're good. Those types of feelings they will happen in different parts of our lives. But what God calls us is into entering these sufferings with forgiving love. Can you see how it's a completely different way of being? And so Jesus shows us the face of God by showing us the face of forgiveness. Jesus saves us from our sin. And let's say that sin is, remember, that's the symptom of forgetting we are one with God and with love. So Jesus saves us from that by reminding us of our oneness with God. And think about that word reminding, to the new mind, by making anew, by reminding us of what already is, which is our oneness with God and creation and humanity. And when we can live from that spot, our lives are never the same again. That's the gospel, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to bring those two parallels of the covenant and of how people saw God, because that's what prayer is about. Prayer is about changing our own hearts and how we see our lives and how we enter our lives, and praying so often that our lives themselves become a prayer and that Christ can pray through us. So those are some of the things we're going to look at today. And my bangs are crimped as I learned these new types of way of thinking and of all of creation and of who God is. So grace and peace, y'all. I'm still in the room and we're going to do stuff and things. So there you have it. Mic drop. Don't have a mic. Just saying. Okay, bye.